I'm an unk. Meaning, I don't really understand why kids these days enjoy stuff like Steal a Brain Rot, or any of these games. But there's one thing I do understand. These games make a lot of money. And right now, I'm kinda broke. So I came up with a plan. What if I make my own Brain Rot games, and then create an empire of Brain Rot? Then I could get some of that sweet, sweet cash all these developers are making. First things first, I'm in a new group. But of course, to have an empire, I'm gonna need a lot of games. So I found these 4 developers to help me. And each one of them has 7 days to make a game. So let's see what games they're making.
I am making Cartwright into a Brain Rot for admin.
I'm gonna be doing Steal an Element.
Brain Rot incremental game.
Egg hatching brain rot game.
Wow, don't you just love brain rot? You probably noticed, but by brain rot games, I mean oversaturated cash grabs. The type of stuff that Roblox kids just can't get enough of. I'm talking spamming studs everywhere, retro slop, Italian brain rot, you know, all the good stuff. And each one of these developers is making their own version of brain rot, so it'll be interesting to see how these games turn out. Will I get rich? I think there's a pretty good chance. On day 2, Do Nothing Studios was really starting to take off, and all the developers already had quite a bit of progress. Starting with Bloxy, who was hard at work with his Cartwright
This is just a
game.
completely finished Cartwright that is accidentally a steal. I am pretty much an intellectual at brain rots and stuff, but I have no idea which one is the most popular. Let's do Tralala or Tralala. Yep, I've decided that.
Raikwa just finished his map.
So this is the map I have made.
Beardev is pretty much already done. And Foxdev has bushes that move. All the games are looking good, but the group was looking kinda boring, so I decided it was time for a new look. Wow. Beautiful, isn't it? Anyways, while all the developers were hard at work, I decided to work on my own game. Okay, well, I bought the game. But it'll make a great addition to Do Nothing Studios, because me and some friends are gonna turn this game into Grow a Niche Fruit, which is a very popular meme right now. Yeah, it's these really weird fruits. But I'm pretty sure all the little Timmies will love it. And now we're on track to have 5 games, and one step closer to getting rich. It's day 3, and it's been a pretty chill day so far. I got this icon and thumbnail done for my game, which looked kinda cursed, and then I started building the map a little bit more. Grow a Niche Fruit was already looking pretty good, but let's check up on the other developers. Bloxy's game is looking pretty, interesting, but it fits the Brain Rot theme pretty well. Beardev's game is just Steal Brain Rot. But Raikwa and Foxdev have some really unique ideas. I'm starting to think Brain Rot might not be so bad after all. Just pretend I didn't say that. Brain Rot is bad. It's literally called Brain Rot. But I can't help but think maybe it's kind of fun. Anyways, with development underway, some people are starting to catch on. And by some people, I mean this one guy. Do Nothing Studios already had its first fan, and it's only up from here. But speaking of fans, if you're watching this video right now, please consider subscribing. Because I'm trying to get to 60k subscribers before the end of 2025. And only you can make that possible. Anyways, back to the video. It's day 4, and I got some bad news this morning. Unfortunately, Foxdev can't continue, due to personal reasons. Meaning we're now left with a total of 4 developers, if you include me. But that's still plenty of developers, because the games we're creating have the potential to go viral. And I'm sure Do Nothing Studios will still be a success. Just look at the group, we gained another member today, meaning we now have a total of 2 fans. Anyways, there's no crazy updates today. All the games look pretty much the same, and development is still underway. But hopefully we have some good news for tomorrow. It's day 5, and honestly, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about my game. You see, the map is built, and I have all the AI fruits, but the game is still pretty broken. You see, when I bought the game, there was still a lot of bugs, and I hired a scripter to try and fix those bugs, and he hasn't really done anything yet. We also need to replace all the Floppa stuff with fruit stuff, because when I bought the game, it was Grow a Floppa, and now we essentially only have 3 more days to get the fruit game finished. But now's a good time to explain the time limit. See, the reason I made this a 7-day challenge is because trends on Roblox die really quickly, and since we're making Brain Rot games and trying to capitalize on trends, there's a chance trends could die out before we release the games. That's why we need to get these out fast. And all the other developers have pretty much finished their games. See, Bloxy's game is pretty much already done. And same with Raikwa's game. And Beardev's game has pretty much been done since the start. So I really need to get this game done. And fast. Or I'll miss my chance to advertise these games and get super rich. So the first thing I did was make some rainbow versions of the fruits, which took a lot longer than I expected it to. And then me and my friend Zul touched up the map a little bit with some new models. And then I hired someone to hopefully fix all the UI. And the game was actually starting to look really good. Dare I say, even pretty fun. I'm kinda starting to like this Brain Rot stuff, and we might actually have a chance of getting rich here, but it's all up to the scripter now. The fate of Grow a Niche Fruit is in his hands, so we'll just have to wait and see. It's day 7, and yeah, I know I missed day 6. I've just been super busy with university, but now it's the weekend, and it's a perfect time to test out some Roblox Brainrot games. But hold on a second, we're not gonna be playing the games today, because some of them aren't even finished yet, including mine, which means this weekend, we actually have to lock in. So I want to start advertising these games as soon as possible. But one thing I've learned... excuse me. But one thing I learned so far is that making a game in 7 days is very hard. Even though the game I bought was like pretty much finished, remaking it into Grow a Niche Fruit has still been a very hard task. But with just a few extra days, I think all the developers and me can all get our games finished. So I guess instead of a 7-day challenge, it's more like a 9-day challenge. Not planned for, but it still works out. And I'm getting more excited than ever to advertise these games. I can just feel those Robux piling up. I just don't want to rush too hard, because even Brainrot games still have to be pretty well made. Anyways, day 7 didn't go how it was planned to be, but hopefully in the next clip, all the games will be finished. It's day 9, I'm pretty sure. And today is the day. That's right, all of the games are finished now. This morning, me and my scripter finished up Grow a Niche Fruit, so I wrote a description, I added on my icon and thumbnails, and it's ready. When I said all the games are finished, I mean, I'm pretty sure all the games are finished. And even if they aren't, I'm still gonna advertise them, because we're already late by 2 days. So in approximately 5 hours, I'll be running the ads. But before then, let's give one final test to all the games. First up was Grow a Niche Fruit, by yours truly. So how this game works is that you buy fruits, and then you take care of them like pets. You have to feed them so their hunger bar goes up, and the older they get, the more value they have. And then you can sell those fruits, and buy better fruits. They come in stock like Grow a Garden, so it makes the gameplay kind of interesting. It's a pretty simple gameplay loop, but it's pretty well made in my opinion. I'm gonna rate this game 7 out of 10. The next game was Steel and Elements, and it's very self-explanatory. It's the same thing as Steel and Brainrot, except the characters are elements instead. I don't think the game is totally finished yet, because right now there's only 3 elements, but unfortunately, it has to get advertised anyways. But BearDev can still fix the game while it's being advertised. For now though, this game's potential is a 4 out of 10. Cart Ride into a Brainrot for free admin. I mean, what else do I have to say? It's a super simple game, and Cart Ride games have been around forever. I actually think this one looks pretty nice. There's not like a million super stimulating things everywhere. It's just straight to the point. And for that reason, this game's potential is a 7 out of 10. Also, what a banger soundtrack, am I right? And finally, game number 4, Brainrot Incremental. Basically what you do in this game is collect all the Brainrots that randomly spawn, which gives you cash. Then you spend that cash on upgrading and trying to spawn better Brainrots. It's pretty simple, but all the UI is actually insanely nice. And the game itself looks really good, but there is a few things that need to be polished up. I'm gonna rate this game a 7.5 out of 10. So that's all the games. They're all really good for the most part. Of course, they'd probably be a bit better if we had more time, but for what they are, I think a few of them have a chance of going viral. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. It's finally time to release the games. And of course, advertise them. So I made them all public and started running some sponsorships. I'm gonna check up in a few days and see how they're doing, but I guess we kinda just hope the algorithm pushes them. And hopefully the plan succeeds. And we get rich off Brainrot. It's day, well, I don't even know anymore. But we're around halfway done advertising the games. And so far, it's not looking too bad. Grow a Niche Fruit has 7,500 visits right now, and quite a few active players, and a decent amount of favorites. Cart Ride into a Brainrot has almost 6,000 visits. Brainrot Incremental has around 4,000, and finally, Steel and Element has only 9. Since it wasn't finished, I didn't really want to use ad credits on it, and decided it would be better to use them on the other games. So for being halfway done advertising, it's not looking too bad. We have around 17,000 visits total across all of the games. So by the end, I'm expecting to have around 30 to 40,000. And of course, hopefully make a good amount of Robux. Also, being the absolute genius that I am, I posted a TikTok video hoping it would promote the game, but it did kinda mid, so I'm not sure how much it affected it. Anyways, I'll see you guys for one last final update once all the ads are finished. It's day 14, and advertisements are all complete. And now, I guess it's time to see the results. After 2 weeks of hard work, our Brainrot Empire has gathered over 20,000 visits across all the games. But here's the real test. How much Robux did we make? So we have 475 Robux, and then we have 822 pending, which means we made over 1,200 Robux. Honestly, not bad. The Rainbow Apple low-key carried though. So, did I get rich off Brainrot games? Well, I guess I made a little bit of Robux, but I think I learned something a lot more valuable than that. Making games shouldn't always be about profit. It should be about having fun, creating something that you really enjoy. Cause when you look back on the games you create, you see a part of yourself, engraved in every little block, and even every free model. Being able to look back on those memories, well, it's worth a lot more than some Robux. I've been playing Roblox since 2016, and I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I still kinda suck. But what if there was a way to fix that? What if I could turn myself into a Roblox god?
But Earthlord, there is a way, because you have
A plan. Over the next 5 days, I'll be learning one Roblox skill every single day, and each one gets progressively harder. So by day 5, I'll have put everything to the test.
want to do this anymore.
But let's start with day 1, which is obbies. Ever since I was a kid, I've been pretty horrible at obbies. But today, that's gonna change. Now, how am I gonna improve at my obby skills, you may be asking? By torturing myself. I'm not gonna stop until I beat 5 towers on the Eternal Towers of Hell, famously one of Roblox's hardest obbies. But let's do some warm-up first. The Tower of Hell. I'm sure you all know what it is. To warm up, I'm gonna be playing this for an entire hour, and see how many times I can win. See, I'm like, actually, oh my, I was about to say I was like low-key cooking.
One eternity later.
This is the first time I beat it in like 40 minutes. Yeah, so I ended up only winning one time in an entire hour. But that's alright, because we can now check off the first thing on our list, which means we have to move on to the Eternal Tower of Hell. I knew I wasn't ready, but that didn't matter, because today, whether I like it or not, I need to get good at obbies. Okay, I guess we start with the first one, Tower of a Simple Time. Even though I don't really play obbies, this was surprisingly easy. Oh my god. Dude, how did I miss this jump? Is that it? I'm almost there. It's just like this one last little thing. The first obby is officially done. This is like low-key kind of hard for the second tower. I haven't fallen yet though. I could feel the difficulty ramping up. Dude, we were almost there I think. But it was still pretty easy. I think that's the end right there though. Locked in. And that's tower number 2, baby. Easy. So far, these obbies weren't that bad at all, so I decided to move on to the intermediate towers, which was a huge mistake. At first, tower number 3 wasn't actually that bad. Dude, if I fall in this one, I'm actually just like insanely sad. Spoiler alert, I fell a lot of times. Oh my god. No. Oh my gosh. I genuinely never expected this tower to be that hard. Dude, like the gamer stance I'm hitting right now is insane. I'm so dialed. It's the last one, I'm at the top. No. This was actual torture. No. Oh my god, no. We're back at pink. And it's almost been an entire hour now. But I could genuinely feel myself improving. Every time I fell, I got back up quicker. After an entire hour of work, I finished tower number 3. These obbies were getting harder fast, but with every failure, I was improving and thought I was ready for tower 4. Honestly, this one looks a little bit better. It doesn't look as tall. I was very wrong. Dude, how do you do those? Big surprise, this one was even harder. Dude, it got to the point where I genuinely wanted to give up. I actually don't want to do this anymore. But then I remembered why I'm doing this challenge in the first place. You see, in the intro when I said I was bad at Roblox, I wasn't kidding. But I want to get better. I want to make the young Earthlord proud. The one who sucked at Roblox. The one who sucked at obbies. Which means I need to complete day 1. So I pushed through. I fell a lot more times. Dude, it has been almost an hour. And I am at the top of whatever this is. But I kept getting better. Did you have no clue how bad I just want to get this done? For pretty much the rest of the obby, I was dead silent, absolutely locked in. I can see the end right here. It has been almost an hour and a half. I know my timer says 36 minutes, but that's because I kept like dying and it had to reset. In the end, I finally made it. We're done. We're done. We finished. We are finished. And now I only had one more obby to do, which is going to be the hardest obby I've ever done. I'm in for a very fun time. It was already 8 PM, so I had to make sure to get this obby done fast, cause believe it or not, I still need to sleep. Dude, what? The last obbies were nothing compared to this, and I knew I'd be suffering. But the entire time, I was silent. I didn't get mad when I fell, and I didn't even celebrate when I hit a hard jump. I was moving flawlessly. It was like I was getting better obbies. No, I was getting better obbies. It's officially 9 PM. Soon enough, it hit 9 PM, and I had just fallen to the bottom. Okay, it's still 9 PM, now I'm at the bottom. Meaning I only had 1 hour left if I still wanted to sleep tonight. I fell, again and again. But eventually, I did my perfect run. All that was left was one jump. Oh my god. And like that, I could finally check the next thing off the list. I had officially become an obby god, so one of the 5 skills are complete. But it was time to end off day 1, because I had a lot more skills to learn. It's day 2, and today's skill is UGC, which is basically creating hats and stuff. But of course, there's a problem. I've never made a 3D model before. In fact, I just had to download Blender. But let's start off with something simple. Step 1 is to make a shoulder pal. I started off by watching a tutorial, and soon enough, I got my avatar into Blender. So far, it wasn't going too bad. I got my shoulder pal all positioned, and it was pretty much ready. Now, all that was left was uploading it to Roblox. This is so cool. But there was a problem. I got an error again and again and again. Oh my god. So naturally, I watched a bunch more tutorials to fix that. And here we are, an hour later, and this time I can actually upload the UGC. Okay, validation succeeded. Okay, now we just still wait for it to be, moderated, I guess. But yeah, honestly, it looks pretty cool. I like that. Dude, there it is. There it is. The Earthlord shoulder pal. That is awesome. And there we go. That's our first UGC item. Now that that's finished, we can move on to the next thing on our checklist, which is to make 2 original UGCs. So my plan is simple. Christmas is coming up in a few months, so what if I made some Christmas UGC? I know, I'm a genius. Now the hard part is, well, actually making them. That's right, it's time for more tutorials. But I was starting to get used to Blender. Okay, so I have 2 different ideas. One of them is like a Christmas version of my glasses, but instead I'm gonna make them like red and green and like model my own. And then idea number 2 is a mystery. I guess you'll just have to watch the video and find out. So I got to work with modeling the Christmas glasses, and they almost made me quit this video. You'll find out why. Okay, so this is like kind of like my reference. Okay, I kind of got with the shape of the glasses down. Okay, that's pretty much all of the modeling done, and now I gotta figure out how to make them look good. So I spent an entire hour trying to figure out how to texture it. Dude, you have no idea how mad this is making me. This is so frustrating. I'm not kidding, I tried literally everything, and I still couldn't figure it out. Since I genuinely could not texture it after like almost 2 hours, I decided to just make a teal version of my glasses instead. And there they are. They're honestly not that bad. This was my last resort. I just made them teal colored glasses. You can't be serious right now. Genuinely, oh my god. I was exhausted. 2 hours of work all just went to waste. But I couldn't just quit. It was only day 2 of the challenge. I needed to keep going. It doesn't matter how frustrated I am, because after all, learning takes time. Okay, we're in a brand new Blender file, and I'm gonna try again. This time, I decided to switch it up, and I went for a more original model. And I even figured out how to texture them. Well, I thought I did. Dude, I tried so hard to get this thing textured, and I couldn't. Like, it's all colored on Blender, but when I export it into Roblox Studio, it's like all gray. So I think I'm just gonna make them teal. Okay, here's what they look like. They're like a hat, kind of. Almost 3 hours. It's not what I originally planned to make, but it's something. I was finally finished the glasses. They weren't what I hoped to make, but it worked out. Even though they were nothing impressive, I was proud of myself. After all that frustration, I never gave up. But I still have to make another hat. And this time, I'm actually gonna make it a Christmas item. I came up with the idea of making a fedora, so I logged in. Okay, I've done it. I made a Christmas-themed fedora. I added a few more finishing touches, and it was done. Dude, I'm actually, like, really happy with this. Now, I'm just hoping I can export it to Roblox, because at this point, if I get an error, I will crash out. I don't know why this happened, but I kinda like how it looks. It's like a bubble effect. And yeah, pretty solid fedora. Here's what it looks like on the character. Second UGC has been finished. With all 3 of the UGCs finished, I completed day 2, and can now call myself a UGC god.
He's so awesome. He's so good at UGC. He's really handsome too.
For just learning Blender today, these weren't that bad in my opinion. And these 3D modeling skills might come in handy for day 5, but it was getting late, so I ended off day 2. Oh, I was just cutting open the box, cause it's day 3, and as you can see, today's skill is scripting. I've made quite a few Roblox games, but I've never actually tried to script them. I always end up just hiring someone else to do it, so I have no idea what to expect. But as always, we're gonna start small, with making 2 really simple scripts. Okay, so to start off, I'm gonna make a kill brick script, which is just a part that deals damage. Sounds pretty easy to make, right? Okay, time to cook something up. Well, it wasn't super hard, but it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. Okay, I have no clue if this is gonna work, but let's test it out. Okay, it did not work. Soon enough, I realized I had no clue what was going on, so I turned on some more tutorials. Okay, this time I think it should work. Okay, so if I touch this brick, I should die. How did it still not work? What? Somehow, even with a tutorial, I failed. So I tried again. I think I fixed it. There we go. That's my first working script. It took me about 15 minutes, but it felt good to make a working script. Now for the next one, I'm gonna try to make a conveyor belt. Okay, for this one, I'm low-key following a tutorial straight off the bat. Okay, this one was pretty short. So when I stand on this, I should start moving. There you go, it works. Okay, that's 2 of our easy scripts finished. So I checked out the first thing on the list, but now we move on to making an entire game system. So far, I've needed to watch quite a few tutorials, but I felt like I was kinda getting the hang of it. So maybe scripting an entire game system wouldn't be that bad. Okay, so for the game system, I want to start by making some coins that you can collect. Once again, I followed a tutorial. Okay, this one wasn't actually that bad, honestly, but let's test it out and see if it works. And there we go, we got a coin. So that's the first part of the game system done, and I want like something to spend the coins on, but yeah, I'll go from there. It took me about 40 minutes to script all the coins, and seeing them work was actually pretty cool. So now I'm gonna get working on a shop. This part was pretty new to me. I had never touched UI before. I'd also never scripted it, but the code was starting to make sense. To explain it simply, it's like telling someone exactly what to do step by step, except you have to speak in robot language. Okay, this time I made like a bunch of GUI, and honestly, it looks pretty fire. And I'm gonna do my first little test to see if the shop will open up. And it doesn't, which is awesome. Guys, I fixed it, and this time it actually opens. That's coding genius right there. So now that I got the shop to open up, I needed to be able to sell stuff. And this is where it started to get a little bit tricky, because I had to be able to use the coins to buy it, which means I kinda had to link the scripts together. I was so focused that I kinda just forgot to talk. It was ready to test out for the first time, but I realized that I somehow broke the coins. But I was pretty sure I got it fixed. So in theory, now we have a working shop that will like, let you buy a sword. And if it doesn't work, then I will be very sad. Okay, so first we go over here, I'll grab a coin, and then now we go in the shop, and click on sword, and look, it costs 50 coins, and it gave us a sword. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it actually feels like really good to script something and like have it work. So now I put all the scripts together and created a little mini game. Okay, so here's my finished little mini game. This uses like all the different scripts I did. So it's sort of like a conveyor, like speedrun kind of game. You got the kill bricks I made, the conveyors, the coins, and then at the end you have more coins, and you can use those coins to buy some swords. And yeah, it's like a little game system. It wasn't much, but I could be proud of myself, cause when I look around, I made everything here. I was feeling like a scripting god, and I think you know what that means. We can cross off the checklist. I was feeling amazing. I thought I'd never learn stuff like this, but if you put in the time and effort, it's possible. Maybe even easier than you think. Over the past 3 days, I beat one of the hardest obbies I've ever seen. I made some pretty cool UGC, and I scripted an entire game myself. Ending off day 3, I felt ready to open up that next box, but I headed to bed. It's day 4, and I ran out of ideas on how to open the box. Today, we're gonna be doing animation, something I've been wanting to learn for a very long time, but it always just seemed insanely complicated. It could take hours just for a few seconds of good animation. To be honest, today might be the hardest day yet, but I better get started as soon as possible. First off, I want to make 2 simple animations. Okay, to start off, I'm gonna try and make a walk cycle. I feel like I have a rough idea of what's going on. Moon Animator was super new to me, but I think I was starting to understand how to use it. So it's like keyframes, so you move it, and then it creates one, and then you can move it again over here. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm gonna lock in and do my walk cycle. After a little while, I had my walking animation finished, and here's the grand reveal.